Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Andrew Capel. Let's get started. All right, welcome to the inaugural episode of the Why, What, How show. Pleased to have Sangram on the podcast. And Sangram, you've done a couple of podcasts before, so we'll get right into it. And yeah, let's hear a little bit about the background and why you came across the go-to-market operating system.
Andrew, thanks for having me. I think one of the big issues that I've seen in my career, I ran marketing at Pardot and we got acquired by Salesforce. So I went from a $10 million company to a $10 billion. And then I started a company called Terminus, which got acquired by a PE firm. And then we have a recent and a second acquisition. So 200 million plus exits. And in the whole process, I always thought that, the marketing is the problem. I was trying to fix marketing, and sales is the problem. I was trying to fix sales. And as I went through this 2 decades of experience, I realized that honestly, it's not marketing or sales, because if marketing can fix the business, then we would have fixed it. Or if sales could fix it, we could have fixed it, but we haven't. And the reason is because at the bottom line, it seems to be the go-to-market problem. And that's literally pushed Brian and I to write a book called Move, which became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. And we launched that book in 2021. And since then, we sell more copies of the book now than actually in 2021, which tells a lot about go-to-market. But as we started doing advisory and consulting around that, people would come back to us like, okay, we get this framework, but how do you operationalize it? And that was the genesis of the go-to-market operating system.
Okay, so it sounds like you wrote the book in 2021 for the really early adopters, and now it's coming into a little bit more of the mass market. The early majority is coming along, to use the Jeffrey Moore.
As a matter of fact, what's interesting, Jeffrey Moore gave a quote for the book, and he loves this. He said, every company got to have an operating system like this. So we're super, super excited for that. And then even ZoomInfo, now they're a client of ours, and they are changing their ticker symbol. Think about this, Andrew. They're changing their ticker symbol to GTM. So from ZI to GTM as a publicly traded company. So the point of go-to-market has become mainstream now, where every organization is thinking. With AI and everything, we can think faster, but the thinking of what problems we're solving, what questions we're asking, who we're going after are more important now than ever before.
Okay. And how would you look at go-to-market as opposed to sales and marketing, where you have a lot of experience? Like, is this just a rebranded or a new term of popularity, or what?
There's some level to it. Like, I can't lie to this, right? Like, ultimately, it's not like, nobody knew what go-to-market could think about. Yeah. But I think my personal view on go-to-market was very myopic until I wrote the book. And when we wrote the book Move, we asked like Brian Halligan, who's the CEO of HubSpot, to lots of other CEOs of VCs, exits of companies that have $1 billion or $100 million. And we thought, and we had a 50-point question, Andrew, for them. I wish AI was much more easily available. I would have done it faster, but we literally had 1,000 interviews around it. And we asked the same questions. And one of the questions was, who owns go-to-market? And another question was, how do you define go-to-market? These 2 questions changed everything for us. Number one, who owns go-to-market? Every CEO said that they own go-to-market, which wasn't our thinking. We thought, maybe the CRO or the CMO, but every CEO, no matter what stage of the business they just knew that they owned it. They may not know how to define it, but they owned it. So we went into the definition of it. Well, how do you define go-to-market? And everyone somehow, some way talked about that as a transformational process. Which an example that they gave was, well, if you're making investment in marketing or sales, what is that? That's a go-to-market decision. If you're going to open an office in EMEA or stay in North America, what is that? It's a go-to-market decision. So it opened our eyes, Andrew, to this idea that go-to-market is way bigger than just a marketing tactic or campaign or a sales compensation or a territory planning thing. And it's really a cross-functional marketing, sales, customer success, operations, and CEO at in the midst of it process that companies needs to go. So those 2 questions are really the backbone of what started the movement.
Interesting. And Sangram, what about product and the service delivery teams? Because I know your co-founder sits on another side or has a different side of the business, and I know that is also connected to it. So I'm curious, where does that fit in?
Oh man, I love product. I feel like unfortunately product has never been in the room a lot of times when go-to-market decisions are made. And so a lot of times they're made in vacuum. So absolutely product needs to be part of it. I think the big shift that's happening with AI, I think product is no longer the moat. So if you think about it, anybody can create product now. You can create a landing page very quickly by giving a couple of prompts. Products are actually going to create another product. So imagine I was talking to Yamini Rangan, who is now the CEO of HubSpot last week, and we were chatting about this idea that if you have 1,000 plus customers and if your product has been used and you're tracking everything, imagine an AI agent just tracking how customers are using it, then coming back to you, recommending what the product should be, sending all these customers a prototype of what that product could do or added feature could do. And if it works and a lot of them say yes, then it goes into the pipeline of the product roadmap. So your product can potentially build another product. So product in a way is no longer the moat in the business. What's actually your moat is going to be your go-to-market, your delivery of it, your pricing and packaging of it, your brand or your community building, your partnership or ecosystem. These are all go-to-market decisions. So I think go-to-market is now becoming more center stage than ever before.
Right. And let's talk about the operating system, the pillars, how it works, how companies get started, and go from there.
Yeah. So the operating system is 8-part, and every one of these parts is really feeding into each other. The first one is TRM, which is total relevant market. It really is a nuance from total addressable market where you can sell everybody to just the ones that actually matter to you, right? The second one is market investment map. This is the most valuable, least used pillar. Why? Because this is when you think about business, the gross margin, which products actually should work. And every one of them have actually deep questions. We have this 8-question operating system. And we believe every company who can answer these 8 questions around the 8 pillars can really redefine their go-to-market, redefine their strategy. Every executive needs to have this so they can clearly articulate. Nobody reads 50-page docs, but you can put it on one page and say, this is our go-to-market strategy. It makes sense. So TRM, then market investment map. The third one is brand and demand. We have taken the battle off the whole war zone. There is no brand and demand differently. It is brand and demand together. So we pull that together. Pipeline velocity, which really is about how do you accelerate deals and creates emotions playbook around it. You get customer time to value and then customer expansion, which is one of the biggest areas of gaps we see in go-to-market. Then RevOps, where it's literally a central nervous system, if you will, of how the business is operating, the health of it. And then ultimately leadership and management. So these 8 pillars, every pillar has this one unique question. And if executives can answer that, they will have a clear go-to-market strategy.
Okay, so there's 8 pillars and a single question for each. Go-to-market strategy on a slide. That simplicity scales, complexity fails, and so that was something that attracted myself and Leader Lev Consulting to become a partner of the Go-to-Market Partners. So I appreciate working with you there. And for business leaders and for CEOs who realize that go-to-market or the sales and marketing engine is not working, what do they do?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest thing they need to do is really take a simple assessment. We have an assessment where help companies go from a problem market fit to product market fit to platform market fit. That's the typical journey for most organizations. Andrew, the challenge is, and we're excited to partner up with you as a certified partner because you have expertise to implement the depth of how you actually go about it. And the challenge with most CEOs and executives is that they just don't know what stage of the business they are in and what are the key parts. So for example, somebody who's in a problem market fit, they might be trying to create a really, really incredible product, but the reality is they shouldn't. They actually should focus on, is the problem real? Is the market big enough? And we give them a clear path to do it, but then they have to execute on that for a little bit to see if they can get to product market fit. Same thing as product market fit is it repeatable. People understand at a high level, but what it takes to be that is a completely different ballgame. So the playbooks that we created along the way really help, and you as a partner can execute all of them very, very well. And then moving to platform market fit, which is literally what every organization needs to do. Everything we have done in the last 4 years and we continue to do is research based. So we'll do a weekly, monthly research around the top go-to-market problems. We have identified 15. There is not a 16th one. That's the most popular joke or bingo game that we play with our when we do transformation sessions with our clients. Or the other one is the 5 valleys of death, which is every company is in certain valley of death. And all of these are a little bit of a dramatic words and phrases because we want to just shake them out of their inertia that they have been in, or the stall mode that they have been, and to say, look, if you stay here, the next logical step is the valley of death. Pick up and figure out how you're going to move in it. And they have to move from problem to product or platform. So that path is absolutely the most critical path to be on. People, when they know it and it's clear, they're able to make the bets they need to make.
Sure. And so the best way to get started, we've heard there's a lot of stuff to do, but as you mentioned, inertia, change management, and just getting the ball rolling, it can be pretty challenging. So I'm sure there's a couple of ways. Like if anyone is interested in learning about the go-to-market operating system, please connect up on LinkedIn. We can set up a time to chat and get some alignment and understanding of the current state, and then create a solution and a path to where you're going. But with, you all put out a lot of great content as part of GTM Partners. So yeah, what are some of the resources and things available?
Yeah, if anybody looks for GTM Monday, which is our weekly research note, you can look up. We're on Substack, but you can Google it or Chat GPT it. It will actually show you. We have 175,000 plus research. Folks are reading it almost on a monthly basis. It's pretty awesome. Andrew, yesterday I was looking at some data. We don't know how are we growing at 175,000 plus people reading it, and we're reading it and looking at people from really huge companies, hundreds of people, 500, sometimes 1,000 people from a big company are reading it. And I think what's happening because it's a research node that helps people make it practical. The phrase I use is Pracademic. It's practical and academic together. It's not one or the other too far. So it's very Pracademic in nature. And people would put them in their Slack group, like, hey, go read that, or put them in their whatever teams or whatever different systems they have. And then all of a sudden, the whole executive team or the whole company or the go-to-market leaders read it. That has been the most exciting part of this growth engine, is that we all are seeking what are the better ways to do it, and we are all in this together. So nobody has a perfect answer. We don't have a perfect answer. We are absolutely students of go-to-market, and if we can get other people along the way and share, that's what we want to do, and that's what we do with GTM Monday.
Absolutely. So I've gone through the go-to-market operating system certification course. I know there's a couple other courses. I think there's the Get Your Go-to-Market Strategy on a Slide 60-minute course. So that is a great resource. And again, if there's anyone who's interested in learning more about fixing and transforming their go-to-market, then I'd love to set up a time to talk. And you can also follow along to Sangram and the team.
Sounds good, Andrew, and we're excited to partner up. You are one of the very early ones who joined us as a certified partner, and because you are you just created this and took it to the next level. So I highly recommend what you guys are doing with your clients. I've seen some of the results you have and how you're helping it. We love recommending folks to you so you can implement and take it further. So thank you for what you do, and people need better business results with folks like you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sangram, and thanks everyone for following along.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out the show. Please follow along on YouTube, LinkedIn, and wherever you get your podcasts.